there was a transformation at the time of Elijah, which is what makes him a canonical prophet. There was a transformation in the conceptualization of what constituted the highest animating principle, the ultimate deity, let's say, Yahweh in this particular case. And this occurred when Elijah stood up against the prophets of Baal. And the prophets of Baal was a nature god. And so you could imagine among primordial people, and there's certainly echoes of this still within our own psyches, that extraordinarily awe-inspiring natural events would produce a kind of religious apprehension. So that could be earthquakes or typhoons or tornadoes or thunderstorms. You know, these manifestations of quasi-cosmic force that can, in some ways, they definitely inspire awe and can bring you to your knees. Now, Baal was a nature god, plain and simple. And so what that meant at that time was that the highest authority to which people owed fealty was the authority that made itself manifest in the storm and in the earthquake and in the thunder. Now, Elijah had an intuition. He was, what would you say, a uniquely isolated follower of Yahweh at that time, because the Israelite king had married this woman named Jezebel, and she brought Baal worship into the Israelite society and attempted to obliterate the worship of Yahweh as an enterprise and really reduced the ranks of the Yahweh supporters to almost nothing, to Elijah, you might even say. Now, Elijah defeated the priests of Baal in a head-to-head competition, which I suppose was the archaic equivalent of a debate. But then he had to run off because Jezebel got wind of his victory and was going to kill him. And then he spent some time in a cave. And when he was in the cave, he experienced an earthquake and he experienced a thunderstorm and some of these magnificent displays of nature. But he had this intuition that whatever the ultimate voice was a voice that spoke within and not externally. And so it's Elijah, it's in the book of Elijah that you first find the phrase, the still small voice within, essentially. And so what happened was there was a transformation of the notion of the highest deity to something that was external and a manifestation of the the grandiosity of nature, to this idea that no, it was something akin to the voice of conscience within.